Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Tarochione. Kind of been waiting for Roman. I don't know if he's going to make it today, but until he joins us, it'll just be solo me. um, Today, we're going to be talking about unconditional love and how dogs guide us through a life's journey. So as long as Roman isn't going to be here, then I'm gonna share with you about my personal journey that I've had with a number of dogs in my life. But the most important one that I had that has passed is I had an 18-year-old dog named Maggie, and Maggie was I got her when she was 6 weeks old. She was just a wonderful, wonderful dog. What she did for me during my lifetime was she was with me through all the times in my life where things were really, really, really in a bad situation. So I'm going to be pretty transparent with you guys today and explain to you what happened to me during my lifetime. I had gotten involved in a marriage that wasn't really all that great. Now, most of you know me as my marriage to Tark, and Tark was actually my second marriage. So, uh, the other marriage that I had, I was married to a batterer. And during that time, I decided that I was going to leave him. And the question was, what am I going to do with my dog? I'm going to move this over. What am I going to do with my dog? Because you can't bring dogs into a shelter. So what I did was I had to leave Maggie in the car, and it was so hard for me because I didn't want to leave her in the car overnight, but she was there for me. Now, I depended upon her more during that time than any other time in my life. And why did I do that? Because I knew that she wasn't going to be there to judge me. For those of you that have ever gone and been in a battered marriage, there's people that will say, "Well, what did you do wrong? What's the matter with you?" And in my case, I had that kind of judgment as well, but not from my dog, never from my dog. So I would sit and I would cry, and Maggie would come up and she was there kissing my face. She knew exactly when I was having difficult times. She was there for me when I when I needed her most. So it didn't make any difference whether I was having to bring her on the side, whether I was whatever I was doing with her, she was always there for me. It was just a fantastic, fantastic relationship. Well, every dog that I've ever had in my life has always been a dog that would bring me the comfort that I needed, unlike a human. Humans seem to be judgmental. They have their own considerations about how people should live, but not with a dog. They don't guide. Okay, I see Romans here. So that's how I wanted to open up about when you have these crucial times in your life where they are so detrimental to you. If you have a dog there, you can talk about anything. You can sit with them. They don't have to do anything. They can just sit in your lap. You can touch them. You can feel them. You can feel that they're there for you no matter what. And the same thing holds true if you're they sense if you are not feeling well. They sense if you are sad. They have this instinct to be able to do that. So I'm going to bring Roman in now. Hi, Roman.
Hi guys, I'm in my bathroom.
Did you forget?
Uh, the time just flew away. I was feeding my dog in the morning, and oh my god.
Oh,
Anyway,
I got a show. Yeah, right. If you said you forgot, that's okay because you know what? This theme is about aging with your dog.
right?
So that's one sign of aging is you forget.
If I don't have my glasses, I don't see the clock.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So I was just opening up with a gory story about myself. when I was in a shelter and I was in a battered marriage, and how my dog Maggie was there for me 24/7 actually, and I depended upon her because she's the only one I had at that time. She was there for me constantly. So we're talking about that, and then so actually what that is about, how they provide like this unwavering support and companionship during the most difficult times.
Yeah.
And then and then they're there for us, where they accept us no matter what. You don't have a woman doesn't have to put on her makeup. She doesn't have to be freshly bathed. She doesn't have to be groomed. A man doesn't either. Men don't care, but women do. And you can pass gas. You can do whatever you want. You can be sloppy. You can have a messy house. You could have all of these things, and it doesn't seem to matter with a dog at all. They could care less. All they want to know is that you're there. That's right. So they accept us at our best or at our worst.
Right. But the funny part, it seems like dogs don't judge. And this is
Yeah.
one part of this unconditional love. I see you and I prefer to be with you. That's pretty much it. And it seems like people come from the conclusion that, dogs manipulate us and want us to do things. In reality, what dogs do is they're just expressing their feelings. I care
Yeah.
for you, right?
Hmm.
I want to be with you. I need your companionship. And we see that sometimes manipulating, and we get offended if the dog does something that he feels and we don't like. For example, the dog growls at us because we want to pet the dog, we want to show them our affection. And the dog doesn't like it. He growls at us. And we get offended, like, oh my God, he's aggressive. Like, how about the dog doesn't like that petting? Maybe he wants just to be with you and not to be fuzzled around.
Hmm.
Right? Dogs like to be next to us, being in proximity, but not being touched. Like, how many times have women sitting next to men and they're just sitting there and they just want to have a companionship, just sitting there and talking instead of being flirted at or being talked to in a certain way. Just sit and listen.
Hmm.
Why this gender, thing? And especially when we get older, we see there is a little bit more relaxed situation happening there. We
Right.
smile at people without feeling like we are flirting. We talk to people without feeling like we're hitting on them, right? And with dogs, it's so freely. They just come up, walk your tail, like, what's up? Like, hey,
Yeah. Yeah.
like his tail going like this,
What do you
smash
do? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Isn't
And so
that cool?
they help us remember who we can be. This I wouldn't say naive, but this primitive openness to express their feelings.
Hmm.
This is who I am. This is how I feel right now. You don't like it, you can walk away.
Right. Right.
Like,
Well,
nobody told you to stay.
they actually, I find, and the topic today is, how do they guide us through our life's journey? If you don't have a dog in your life, then you wouldn't know the difference. But if you do have a dog in your life, you we we run our life, not run our life. We our life is surrounded around how our dogs. I mean, oh, I don't want to go on vacation. What are we going to do with the dog? I don't, I don't want to be gone for too dog because I don't want to for too long because I don't want to leave my dog alone.
Right, right.
So they will help guide us in how we should behave. The second we walk in the house, if we're upset and they're there to give us a kiss or they're there to be there for us, they immediately change our mood. And then if we take the time to look at them and we take the time to hug them and be there with them. Am I making sense here? I'm a little bit off today.
Totally off. Let's get some more content.
I know. I know.
I feel you're right. We have to see the motivation that we have, that I think with age declines. We are burned out, we are tired. We just think about how do I get through the day. And sometimes it's pain related, sometimes it's just situational related. And those dogs that just gets it up. I mean, listen, how many times have you thought, oh, I'm not getting up right now, and how about you just pee on the carpet? But I haven't seen one person not getting up if the dog tries to throw up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like up and support the dog, getting him out of the house.
Right. Yeah.
So we see
Right.
dogs can motivate us a lot. That was a weird example, but we see that many people, even with wheelchairs, even with disabilities, they get up and take the dog out. They feel like need to support the dog, overcoming their fears and their pains. They just have to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a big thing as we grow older, to see that aspect, that companionship is not we have to care for the dog. It's up to us, that relational interaction that we do, that motivation to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
And dogs do
Yeah.
support. Now, if we look a little bit more in the spiritual aspect of that, I think people and dogs have an arrangement. I wouldn't call it agreement. It's an arrangement. It's open arrangement. We arrange to meet each other and kind of support each other through difficult times, through divorces, through pain, through injuries, and through bad and good times. And then learn from us. To learn from us how we give our emotional feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It seems to they're in their emotional and spiritual hierarchy, they're very strict in what they do and how they do collectively. And this is actually the first time in our situation in this plane where dogs actually can be independent, do independent things, be alone without being in a pack or in a bigger, um, connected society, and be free with other species. Not many
Mm-hmm.
species do that with people.
Right. Right.
Cats
Yeah.
don't give a meow. They just don't walk away. Dogs stick with us. So we have so many similarities. It's kind of worth looking into that a little bit in the spiritual aspect of our relationship.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you ever notice that whenever anyone is having an argument in a family or there's some heated discussion, the dog gets right in the middle?
Yeah,
Why
they,
is that, Roman? From a behavior standpoint, what is the dog saying there? Stop, take a deep breath.
yeah,
You don't need to argue, or I don't like it, or what is the dog communicating to
it's a
us at that time?
very good point. I can tell a little story. A person adopted a dog, and where the husband was employed. The husband returns, and the wife is with the dog. It's actually a big dog. It was a Mastiff breed. And the first thing I'm gonna do, what? They give each other a hug, right? Oh my God, cries and things, and on the table and schmoozing and stuff like that. The dog went nuts and attacked the person, the
Ooh.
man, right? So the person survived to the employment and came back being attacked in his own home. But one thing that I notice is dogs create bonds, and in these bonds, they feel how this bond relationship feels like. And if something happens and another person comes into that relationship and the status is not clear, the emotions are not clear defined, the dog may see an excessive expression of feelings as an attack, and they take side towards the weaker one, the one they are related to.
Right, right.
So sometimes we have to really dog to counter condition them and help them understand that hugging is not an attack. It's not I'm grabbing to kill you, it's a grabbing to have fun and have love, right? And dogs don't see that because for them, grabbing is part of killing.
Oh,
And so we
okay.
have to kind of help them desensitize from that process. So it's a hunting sequence. The dogs are triggered by attacking, we call it hugging, and eating each other.
Yeah,
Right?
right. Yeah, right, right.
And dogs may misinterpret that, especially dogs who aren't properly socialized. Same thing happens with children. Children come and want to kiss the dog because it's so cute, because mom
Mhm.
kisses them, so they want to kiss the dog. Yeah, that was not a good idea.
Yeah. Well, you know, when I cringe every time I see someone with their child letting the child crawl all over the dog and pull on its face, and then I know that has nothing to do with the show today, but it just brought to mind that
Yeah, yeah,
we take it for granted that it's okay to do things like that, and I don't
yeah.
know why. I don't know why people think that's cute.
Well,
You know,
it is.
because I'm like, oh, gosh, don't do that. You know,
It
now there's
is
certain
because
breeds, as we know.
people are brainwashed from those social media influencers
Yeah.
or those. It really dogs being exposed to things they shouldn't do, and they think it's so cute. Oh, my dog can do that too. Oh, my dog can do that too. Let bring the kid here. Bring the dog. Let's put them together. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like no. I'm like, I can
Yeah.
see it
Oh
around
gosh.
the
Oh
dog.
no. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, it's
Me
gonna
too.
happen. The dog actually avoids it. dog really, really tries to avoid hurting the child, and it's not tolerating it. It's just suppressing her own feelings.
Hmm. Yeah. But there are certain breeds that are prone to accepting it a lot more so, which are good for service
I would say
dogs.
it's an individual on a dog.
Really?
Every dog can hurt each other. Every dog can hurt a child. A specific dog with a specific situation, with a specific education, is being able to accept it and become friends with. How is a puppy chewing on his mother
Hmm.
and hanging on the cheek on her ears? So every breed can have that. But we shouldn't expect that every breed to tolerate it, because
Right.
the child is not the dog's offspring, right? Children
Right.
or kids are loose cannons running around doing things unpredictable. It's a threat for the dog,
Hmm.
right? And so, just like we hate mosquitoes and get them rid, the dog eventually does the same thing with the kid to
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
You just don't see that part.
I wanted to talk about my Charlie because I know we talk about him and everyone. By the way, we didn't get any report from the canine community reporter this week. So
No.
no, yeah, I know. So I don't have anyone but I can tell you about my Charlie. Every year um, I have an anniversary, and a wedding anniversary,
Hmm.
and this was my 24th wedding anniversary yesterday. Or no, on the 15th. And every year, for those of you that don't know, my husband passed away 14 years ago. So I play my wedding video. I have this ritual, and I kind of go into this quasi melancholy mood and all of that. So I was sitting in the chair and not feeling sorry for myself, but just reflecting on how much I miss him, and how my life is so different without having another human being in my life that can hold my hand, that can give me a hug, that can tell me they love me, and how important that is. And here was Charlie. He couldn't get up on the sofa and he kept trying to jump and he was pushing me and everything. And then I brought him up and he came over, and it was almost like I'm going to cry. It was almost like he said to me, "Well, Mom, I'm here. I love you and I'll always protect you and I'll always take care of you." It was like life affirming to me that here is this being that can't communicate with me. He can't talk to me, but he senses and he knows exactly who I am, and he honors me and I honor him. Now, the fact that he's going to be 18 years old, he's having issues with hearing, with seeing. He's got all these tumors all over him. He's got tags all over him, and he's got crooked teeth and all of that. He's still my little boy, and it's okay with him to see me age so I can see him age without a problem. But when push comes to shove, he's there for me. He is there for me. And I think the message that we might want to give today is that our dogs give us these signs every day, especially when we're older, and they're there to support us, but I don't think we see them. I don't think we notice our dogs the way we should. I don't think we realize that when they come over and they give you a push, maybe they're letting you know it's time to go out. Let's get the
Right.
leash. Let's go. They give you signs when they come and they sit on your lap. Maybe you should do a self check of why did my dog come over to me at that time? Did I give a signal? Was I feeling something? Did I have an emotion? Could be watching TV and I start laughing and my dog jumps on my lap. What are the signals that dogs give to us that we probably are overlooking, especially when we're aging, because we're concentrating more on our own being and our own body rather than looking at that beautiful human that I was going to say human being. Well, they pretty much could
Yeah,
be.
for people.
Yeah, that this beautiful being that is in our life for a reason and a purpose.
Well, we need to see the dogs have their body and the way they function around that. So we have to see what their abilities to get our attention. So there's a difference between us getting attention and wanting connection, and at the same time giving feedback of how we express our feelings. An angry person will trigger a dog. A sad person will trigger a dog. If a dog feels vulnerable and not really grounded, the dog will come and ground you.
Mhm.
Right? For example, the dog can scratch at you, jump on you, bark at you. Staring at you will not help in that case a lot because it doesn't help you ground. But dogs will do things where you kind of like get annoyed eventually. It's not a bad thing. It's about you getting back here.
Mhm.
Dogs can eventually, if you're angry, can walk away, hide. And then we recognize, why did my dog hide? Because my energy is so intense and so aggressive and so predatory that my dog feels threatened. So we can reflect back on different type of behaviors that a dog shows, how we emit our energy towards our environment. It becomes kind of a gauge that tells us aggressive, calm, negative, and that would we can take cues. So I would say, when I want to take my dog for a walk and I'm really late and I need to get it done, my dog will not come to me. And then, of course, people think, oh, I can give my dog a command. But that's not the relationship. I command you to come with me to the movies. That does no
Yeah,
sense,
right.
right?
Yeah.
So if suggestion doesn't work, then we have to reflect back and say, why is the dog not responding right now? What do I do that affects my dog not to do or to do certain things? And once we recognize how we feel internally right at that moment, because many people often are dissociated of their own feelings, it becomes kind of like an exercise. How do I feel towards my dog? What does my dog perceives from me right now? And taking a deep breath, loosen up a little bit, and all of a sudden, whoop, here he is, ready to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Or you have to resort to some kind of tactic. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right?
What I do with
Like,
Charlie.
I try to avoid tactics as much as I have to. But if I have to get him out because now it's 9 o'clock and I want to go to bed and the dog doesn't like to go outside because he heard somebody else barking about
Or it's
whatever
raining.
outside, right? They're like, I'm not going outside. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, now that you're telling me I have to pee. Like, I knew it, right? So yeah, I have a senior dog. She's 14. And yeah, she sometimes senile forgets about things. So I was already. No, you weren't. It was like 6 o'clock. Now it's 9. Oh, here's it. Okay. So it's funny. But I encourage people to kind of sit down and observe dogs and just observe really for a day and keep notes, keep a script. What did
Good
my dog
idea.
do? The doorbell rang. The first thing he did, he looked at me. Are you expecting anyone again? Right? Note. Or the other part, I'm taking the dog for a walk. The dog goes ahead of me and just puffing up and being stiff. Write it down. And then notice next time when you go for a walk, when you see your dog doing that, how does your feeling in the situation? I'm stressed about my dog and how is it going to go and what strange people we're going to meet on the street. I'm a little bit of an introvert and so I'm try to avoid and say, hello, neighbor. Hate it. However, the dog expresses what I internally not express towards the environment, becoming that front line, that front shield.
Right. Yeah.
That's an attitude. I can inflict it for myself in the morning. Today I'm gonna not find annoying people. I'm gonna find good people. I'm gonna find people who respect my space. I will have a walk that is not being triggered by the environment. I'm gonna really literally create my reality, my new path of today. And
Good
it makes
advice.
a difference. It's like
Yeah.
riding the bicycle and try to avoid the hole. You're gonna end up in that hole. Or you say, I'm gonna avoid the hole, I'm gonna look right to the hole, and I'm gonna be from the right side.
Right.
Body
Right.
responds to our thoughts. And so we can pre-program our path to clear all this nonsense out of our path.
Can we go back to the why a dog doesn't want to go out when you want him to, and that could be pain, could be that they just don't feel like it,
Right.
whatever. I started to say that I will create different, or I will do different kind of tactics, but the one that works for me the best is I'll say to Charlie, okay, Charlie, because I'm mostly in my bedroom because I'm pretty much confined to a certain area of the house. So I'll say, okay, Charlie, come on, it's time to go, and he'll look at me like, not now, no, I don't want to, and then
Oh,
I'll ask him,
no.
and then I'll ask him again, and then it's like, not really. So then I say, okay, mommy's going out, and she's gonna get a cookie, and then I close the door, and then as soon as I open the door, boom, he's right there.
You
Because
tell me you gotta go.
and I don't even have to say cookie. I just have to say, well, mommy's going to go then. And then I'll close the door. And I know he's going to get up thinking, oh, God, I'm out of her sight. Oh, no, there's no way that's going to happen.
Well, how about you start with that first before you skip the whole thing, blah, 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 before that? Get it right to the bone. I'm leaving. Are you coming? And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, where are you
Yeah.
going? Check it out. Follow me. Let's see where we're
Yeah.
going.
Well, the interesting thing that I'm finding with Charlie is as he's aging, I am watching him more. I think I said that on the last show that I watch just about everything that he does. I become so observant of him because I feel like, just like me, he's on borrowed time too. So whatever time I have with him, I'm really relishing it. So I'm giving him a lot more hugs, a lot more attention, and he's loving it too. But he doesn't want the same kind of affection he had before when he was younger. Now it's affection for, I mean, I can tell that things hurt him in certain areas, so I have to be much more gentler with him and
Mhm.
much more patient. He can't walk as fast, he can't move as fast, he can't do the things that he did before, and he doesn't care to either. People can come to the door now, and honest to God, Roman, it's okay with, he doesn't even bother. Doesn't even
What?
bother. Yeah,
What?
yeah. Well, oh, maybe you didn't hear him. Yeah, there you go. Could very well be. Yeah, that's a good point. Whereas before it was like boom, right at the door. Who is this person that's trying to come into our house and hurt my mom and blah 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 blah? I'm the protector. I'm going to take care of her. Now it's like, oh yeah, somebody's at the door. I wonder who it is. Well, so these are the changes that occur. But the same thing happens to us too as getting older. We don't want to get up and take the dog for a walk. We don't want to do all those things. God invented sliding glass doors for a reason with a big backyard.
Well, one thing we can say, we can help the dogs be able to express their feelings and what they want to do by keeping certain things as a baseline and the highest standard. Nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. Veterinarians use nutrition for healing. We call it food medicine, right? Helping a dog being healthy starts with food, including being aware what kind of supplements we give them, what kind of treats we give them, what kind of chew toy we give them. I don't have plastic toys in my house. I avoid microplastics
Mhm.
contamination. And so I want to make sure that all these things are possible for my dog to feel better, less inflammation, less chronic pain. And I do usually refer to people to go to integrative veterinarians, at least, or holistic veterinarians, or traditional Chinese medicine practitioners, because they just see the animal what it is and not just
Mhm.
out of a shell.
Yeah.
It's a dog. That's what we do. This is what we prescribe. Like, no, it's that dog that has that problem with that family, with this body. So, how about you kind of hone in a little bit and see in 15 minutes? You would not be able to make an assessment exactly what's happening. So, give me more time with my dog, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So how can we address having a dog in our life and address the fact that when we feel lonely or we want to feel happier, how do we become aware that, okay, I'm feeling really lonely right now? Well, why are you lonely? You've got your dog there. And then people will say, well, but that's not the same thing. But it could be because a dog does give, I mean, it's been proven, especially in a perfect example is a therapy dog. You bring a therapy dog into a nursing home and oh my gosh, they brighten up and they're happy. Yeah. Why is that? The dog
Right.
hasn't done a thing other than the owner brings it in. They so what's that oxytocin that happens
Oxycontin. Yeah.
or
Um,
Oxycontin. Yeah, oxytocin. That's a pain drug.
I totally have it burning in my mouth. So I would say there is a lot of people feeling safe with animals, and I'm not. It's a kind of a trigger alert. I'm not a therapist, and I'm not having any intentions to kind of cause a therapy thing. But many people over time, especially our age and earlier, have not been diagnosed, have not been supported through the traumas, have not been assessed as depressive or ADD. I was one of I found the original educator of about adult ADD, and I had no clue what was happening to me, right? But once I understood what's happening to me, it was easy for me to function. So some people in elderly homes or they're alone, friends passed away, nobody told them, your life has been hard, that you're here, you're a survival hero. And it's okay
Right.
to feel sad. It's
Good
okay to feel
point.
alone, right? But see how you end up here is because of your strength and your power. And helping people empowering is what dogs do. They come in and they're wagging their tail.
Yes.
Oh my God,
Yes. Yes.
I'm worth that tail wag, right?
Yes.
I'm worth that being jumped on. Or the dog sits in front of me like, what do you got? There is so freely, not bad expectations, not trying to manipulate you. It's just there, right? And I think we should always take advantage of the health system, whatever is left, and say, maybe I should talk to a therapist. Maybe they can help me. A sentence, a group, um, joining specific games and doing social interactions. I mean, I watched the other day and let's call it investigating show, looking why people get older than 100.
Right. Yeah. Wasn't that a good one?
One thing
Yeah.
that I noticed is they didn't show dogs there. I don't know why. Of course, there are dogs involved. But people just forget to age. People are so busy doing things and having fun and expressing the feelings. Everything that's been suppressed in the past, it just comes out now. And people healing even from cancer because they just don't care about these things that calm them down and make them sick. Like illness is nothing else, is a conjunction of things that we suppress and we don't want to deal with and we cannot deal with and we don't know about them, and they just burn us out and hurt us
Hmm.
energetically.
Right.
And the
Yes.
dog helps us moving that stuck energy and let it out. Yeah, we get angry
Yes.
about the dog.
Yeah.
They're a dog, right? But it gets out.
Yeah, that's
It
a
didn't harm
very,
the
very,
dog,
very good, such a valid point, Roman. Yes, yes, and they do have a tendency to be able to empower us because they can take us from a real angry mood, got frustrated, and then the second we walk in the door, we see them and that tail is going, and oh,
right?
mom's
And
home,
you see
dad's
the
home.
tail wagging, and then you see
Yeah,
the whole disaster in
and
the house. Like,
you
things
just
are good.
melt. You could just
Who
melt.
cares
Yes.
about my pouch?
Yeah, right.
All the feathers.
Yeah. Mm.
I think we should put more fun to the dogs. We should kind of
Yeah,
stop
yeah,
scrolling on the fun videos and see how fun our own dog is.
yeah,
Like we are so inclined into go into this cheap scrolling, ha ha ha, ha scrolling, ha ha ha, scrolling,
yeah, right.
and the event happens in front of us. If we don't interact with the dog, we will not get that out.
And another thing that people don't do, they don't identify their dog's personality. I mean, if you were asked to define your dog, you can do that. I can define my dog because I've taken the time to learn who he is. I know what kind of person. I know how he gets along with other people. I know that he doesn't he doesn't like men. I know all these things about him. But how many people, especially when they get older, and they're thinking of getting a dog,
Mhm.
they don't want to take the time to learn about who is this being, who is this and so the caution I have for, because I hear a lot of times people will say, well, I just turned 70 and I want to get a puppy. Well, puppy is a real difficult thing to do. I know my brother, he's watching and he's probably saying, well, that's what we did. and and he knows the perils of it. That's for sure.
Well, we know more about the moon and the deep sea than we know about dogs. Only in the late 20 years, 30 years, actually, we have more than 150 separate studies on dogs. Before
Uh,
that, everybody skipped the dog.
yeah,
Literally, they use dogs for experiments and stuff like that, but actually focusing on the dogs and well-being and the structure of the dog and emotional values of the dog, we don't. And I do believe if we look closer to the dog, we're gonna see the breed traits, right? We see the
mhm,
individual dog, behavior, and then we can recognize spiritual traits. Even though the dogs with each other from the same breed will have similar breed type behaviors, like a bulldog will slam you with his chest because that's what they do. It's a kind of a breed thing. But then in between those, we have also the spiritual traits. It could be a teacher, could be a healer, could be a companion, right? I haven't seen a dog who barks aggressively towards people to get the job done as a service dog. What
right,
kind of dogs are these dogs? You cannot just take any dog and make him a service dog. There must be kind of like a type of a soul in that
right,
dog that is willing to recognizing, be empathetic, and not being judgmental about somebody not behaving right. So you fall over, and some dogs will literally bark at you and get weird about it, right? Another dog says, "Oh, what happened to you? Oh my God, did you fall down? Let me help you up," kind of thing. So we see there is a thought and a feelings behind that we cannot classify in a breed trait.
right, right.
But we have a service to others dog. This is a service dog. We
Hmm.
have a very controlling dog. It's more a teacher dog. We have just a dog who doesn't mind his own business. He's there whenever you need him, but if he doesn't need him, he's gone. He's doing his own thing. He's more independent rather than dependent. These are more the, let's
Like a
call it,
cat.
right? And so having these categories, I kind of found out that we have like 9 type of dogs: teachers, healers, companions, and then we have teachers, teacher healers, teacher companions, and then we have healers teachers, healers, healer companion. And so based on those different traits, they have different behavior patterns. Like a healer will never harm you, but a healer teacher will bark at you, letting you know you're late to your pills, right?
Okay.
A companion dog, for example, a teacher companion dog, will be totally pissed that you didn't do what he's supposed to do and just doesn't bark at you for a couple of days. And you're like, what happened? Are we not friends anymore? But a teacher will see your instability, your wrongdoing, and he eventually snap at you because you're supposed to do that and you didn't. I'm gonna snap at you. And so when I do assessments and match people with dogs, with rescue dogs, I do have some tasks that I ask people to do to identify what kind of dog he is and what personality trait he has. If it's a good fit for a person who is not really stable in his behavior and his feelings, that can trigger that dog, and but could be very supportive for another dog instead. And it's very important kind of to keep that in mind when we just adopt dogs out, and not just because the person wants a dog, the dog is gone. Oh, I want a Chihuahua. Yeah, great. But how about the individual Chihuahua? How about the Chihuahua in that skin? Is it a good fit, right?
I'm just sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, Roman, I did not know that you did actual. Hey, folks, if you are aging and you're thinking about getting a dog, you really need to contact Roman about how are you going to match yourself up, because it's one thing to go to a shelter, it's one thing to get a foster dog, but if you are doing that, you want to match up what
Mm-hmm.
your personality is with what the dog's traits are. So
Right.
this is the first time I'm hearing this, Roman. So I'm really I'm matchmaking,
Right.
especially for you know there's a stigma that goes on people that are aging, and I know our theme is about the aging right now to support the Golden Life community. But those people that are looking to get a dog, they don't realize the ramifications. What are you going to do with the dog if something happens
Right,
to
right,
me?
right.
If I get a new one, if I get an over rambunctious dog, one that is that's a breed that needs a constant walking, and you're not able to do that. All of these things, I think that there's a matchup that is really necessary, that you should be able to work with someone, and Roman is the guy. Roman is the guy to be able to go to
Many,
get that information and get that assessment.
well, many people don't know that you can be a senior person and you can be, let's call it statistically at the end of your lifespan kind of thing. But I would say, yes, you can get a foster, a senior foster. You don't have to adopt the dog, you can foster the dog.
Mhm.
Fostering a dog helps two dogs, the one that you have and the space that opens for another dog to come in. So
That's a
taking
good
in one
point.
dog helps two dogs, right? And and if you want to go down that road because some friend of yours says, "Oh, you need a puppy, so you're gonna go up and speed up a little bit," where is the contingency plan? What happens if bad things happen and you have not the ability to take care of your dog? What's happening to the dog? And we have to kind of keep in mind, a dog can cost you $1,000 a month, right? Off the bat, if you don't have $1,000 in a bank account or you don't have credit for $1,000, do not get the dog. Period.
Right. Right.
Right? So you go to the vet and suddenly your dog has a heart problem. A dog needs a surgery. The vet will ask you $1,000 down,
And you
or
know what the recourse will be if they don't have the money? Well, let's
you
just
have to
put them
surrender the
down.
dog.
Let's just put them down.
Yeah,
I can't afford it. So money
surrender the dog or
equals,
put the dog down.
yeah, yeah. Money
And
equals euthanasia.
right, right. And so people miss that part. They see the beauty of the thing and, oh, I have a dog, but they don't see the thick responsibility. You will not be able to get to the plane. You want to see your grandkids, you want to go to the plane, what's happening to your dog? Oh, we're going to
Mhm.
hire a pet sitter. Well, find the pet sitter first who wants to work with that breed. Some people don't take certain breeds, they just don't like them. And then, oh, that is not available and this is not available. Damn it, I have to go by car,
Yeah.
right? And some people forget that the little dog will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they will go over 30 pounds, and you have to move into a care home. They will not take your dog,
Hmm.
and then you have to find a community,
Yeah. The
right?
Golden
The
Life
cooperative
community,
community
right? Yeah.
that
Yeah.
actually helps you get there, but the other ones don't. And so these are things that we have to take in consideration when we think big time. And then the housing that I stay, does it have a dog park? Or do I have to drive miles to get my dog out for a walk? Well, just unleash the leash and him being social, being actually a dog for a moment.
Right. Right.
And food. Oh my God. You want to feed healthy. You want to have a long living dog. You want to like live as long as you do. You feed healthy. How much does it cost? Oh, I'm gonna find no, no, no. You cannot go that route. If you want healthy dog, you have to feed healthy. If you don't feed healthy, but they
Right.
say it's healthy, it's not.
Or
It's like
people food.
right, and we need to make sure that we are feeding breed appropriate and species appropriate. Just because we are vegetarian doesn't mean the dog has to be vegetarian. Just because we are loving hot dogs doesn't mean the dog has to live from hot dogs,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
It's all these things that we have to consider. So when I do the assessment, I do see what is the thoughts of a person of a dog. What is the thoughts behind that? What do people expect from a dog, right? There are people aware of the dog's needs. Are they aware of their own needs? Okay, and then what is the long-term plan? What do you do 5 years from now? Oh, I'm gonna go to a cruise ship. I'm gonna discover the world. You know, you
Right.
cannot take your dog with you, right? Unless it's Queen Elizabeth. You cannot have your dog on board. Oh, it's
Right.
gonna make him a service dog. Wait, which service do you want the dog to perform? You don't have a problem. Well, we're gonna
Right.
find something. That's not how it goes. So all these things, little mid discussion, and then matchmaking is not just take one and two and mix it and offer it.
Right. Right.
We have to see the dog's long term quality of life, and at the same time take in consideration the person long term plans.
Yeah, and in addition to that, if it's a husband and wife that are adopting, whose responsibilities they need to know, who's going to really take care of the dog. For some reason. See, I just feel that a lot of my friends who are older and they get a dog and they foster or they feel bad or they see something on YouTube and, oh, I'm going to go and get that dog because that's the dog for me. And I think, are you prepared to be able to take care of that animal? I mean, I know myself, when Charlie goes, I'm not going to adopt another. Foster maybe temporarily, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to put myself through that and through the dog. If anything, I would foster to and then promote to have that animal adopted. But unfortunately, with me, I'm always a foster failure, so I don't know that would really happen. Foster failure, that's me. Yeah, always. So there's all these different things that occur about responsibility and older, and are you up to the task? Or do you want to have an animal in your home that is going to be a companion? That's one thing. So you're absolutely right. You don't want to have the big dog that is very rambunctious and older. And you want to have a lap dog that you know is going to be satisfied with sitting around all day with you.
Right. And also we have to take in consideration that, yeah, we are old, but we can still go outside flirting, having a date, and eventually move together. Hold on. Ooh, this person has a dog too. Have
Dogs
you
are chick
guys,
magnets.
right? Have you guys check out the capability of those two dogs in the same household, or does that somebody has to get rid of his dog because you move into another house?
Right.
Now,
Yeah,
who has to go?
exactly.
Why does has a dog has to go? Maybe that person is not the right person who asked you to let go of your dog.
Right.
Dog
Yep.
is- there's some alarm bells going on right there. That it helps us. Dogs helps us kind of become aware of things. And I know some people who says if a dog doesn't like your partner, get rid of the partner. No, dogs are not psychics, right? It could be other issues than that. Could be just the person not feeling comfortable with being sick or any other things that can trigger a dog for whatever reason. It's not predictability of the person's character if a dog doesn't like the person. Just put it
Right.
out. People is clear. There's a lot of misconception about that.
Okay. Well, this has been a wonderful show. Thank you so much, Roman. Even though you were just a few minutes late, the show carried on, and we won't bring that to everybody's attention, of course. So, for those of you that this show was sponsored by the Golden Life Community, and for those women that are over 55 that would like to join our community, you can go to you can go to the Golden Life Community and you'll see a thing on there that says request to join, and it will bring you over to our website. And this is for women who are wanting to join heart at the heart level, connect at the heart level. So Roman, any last thoughts that you want to give before we say goodbye to everyone?
Yeah. If somebody up there asks you, what have you done in your life? I'm sure there will be a dog next to them confirming it.
Oh my God, isn't that the truth? You absolutely right. Okay.
You don't want to do to a dog something that will regret up there.
Yeah, right. Namaste, my friend. Okay. Bye bye.